And 1940, good luck. So we've not played before, we have no head-to-head score. What do we want to do for this game? Let's do the more modern way of playing the Reti. It mainly switches it more to a normal c4, d4 opening. Okay, comes forward, so b4 puts us back into a normal Reti opening here. We could just take as well. Let's go b4 and challenge this pawn. Pawn has how many games? 5,700 games of rapid, that's an awful lot. We're just short of 1,000. It's what you should do though, if you're trying to actually get better at chess, is play the slower time controls, generally speaking. You won't improve and get better if you're just playing bullet chess. Oh, he launches one. This could get a bit sharp, couldn't it? Let's come back. If he launches again, we'll have to go back, but at least there's no pawn to kick us. So let's just develop the bishop with a view to coming back. I mean, he could go this way, of course. So he pushes the bishop down, so we'll need to develop to break the pin. I don't think he'll take, but he could. Now, he's given us a chance to grab a pawn. Has he made a mistake moving too quickly there? Can't we just take that? Now, am I missing a tactic? If he takes, I take back. I don't think the queen gets active anywhere. So if I take and he takes here, I can take back. He takes, I take. I don't see the trick. There might be one, but I don't see it, so I'm going to take the pawn. Oh, I got it right on the minute there. 9.00.0. Okay, he takes, so I'm going to take back. I'll pre-move in case he takes the knight. It might turn out to just be a temporary pawn, but at least we've got two centre pawns. Our opponent's got no centre pawns now, so that's quite good as a principle. And we just want to castle and find a square somehow for our knight to go somewhere. So we need this knight into the game somehow, so d3, d4, but I think castling has to be the right move initially, doesn't it? No, he might try and move the knight, go here, and trap our rook, so... But I think we can castle, and say we traded, we've got d4, and there's no pawn to challenge d4. So I think it's okay to castle this move. Then I've got to decide what to do, but maybe just d4 now, maybe even potentially c5. d4 must be a good move, surely, mustn't it? It means our bishop's not coming back this way, but we could still retreat this way, but it's got to be a good principled move. It gives our knight a square to complete the minor piece development. Maybe go to f3. Okay, so he's maybe heading here. So I think queen up first, or here first. And depending on what he does, we can attack a pawn. If he comes in, we can take. So say we go here, or here. He could play f5. But if we go here, f5, we can maybe throw in f3. And the knight's not really that easy to retreat. You can go behind and we'd be happy to trade there, I think. So I prefer the idea of going here. Just to try and deal with this concept if you jump in immediately and try and kick the knight immediately. If you go back, I think we're happy to trade and then get the knight up. But obviously we'll just see what our opponent does. Get the cursor off the board so there's an accidental slip. So this could be a chance for us to trade a piece for a piece. Get a tempo pushing on, but that would actually be a blunder. If he takes, I can't take back because I'd lose my queen. But we can take, develop the knight up, we guard the pawn, still potentially pushing on. My bishop's not really doing a lot there. So I like the idea of taking that and getting my knight into play. Then just don't blunder some sort of tactic, but he's only got... Oh, actually, he's gone with the queen. That does give us a chance to play c5, doesn't it? Because he's gone with a queen, we can attack the queen and he can't take this move. I like the idea of that. Just get a tempo attacking his queen while we can. I still need to get my knight across. Ideally to f3, or we try and go for this pawn, maybe queen up or queen across. But if his queen drops back, he's then threatening to win the pawn with the bishop because our queen's not protected. So I'm aware of that. So let's see where he ends up. Now queen here, of course, we can attack two pawns, but it could turn out to be poison pawns. We don't want a big kingside attack building up. But knight across to d2 to f3 looks very pleasant. The pawn's playing it very quick, Andy, so we're still miles down on the clock. Let's see what he's got in mind. He's gone back, so he's not threatening to win the pawn this move. So we would be able to take back. So on that basis, I'm looking at knight across as my candidate move. We cover this. We can still play rook across or move the queen if he develops a rook the following move, then threatening to take. So it's got to be right to get the knight moved and go for that minor piece development now completed. So that's what he's done. So he's created a threat here to try and capture a pawn. So we could go across here and attack a pawn, and he's got a natural reply. Then what about the simple a3? Man, if I go here, could he still take? I think he could, couldn't he? If I take, I lose my knight, so it's probably best to drop back this way. If I go here, he's got the other rook across. Then maybe we swing the rook over. Let's come here. Excuse me. I'd like the knight on f3, like I said. His natural move is, I guess, to play a rook across here. Then you might be threatening to take and some sort of discovery, but right now I don't think that works. So I think knight to f3, we cover h2. It's a very nice development square, so it feels like a very natural move, and then we can activate the rooks. So am I blundering? Rook takes would actually be covered by the knight as well, wouldn't it? Yeah, let's put the knight on f3, but the queen's in the firing line for both rooks, so he might be threatening some sort of sacrifice. So if he takes, we take, and he takes, we can't take back, so he is indeed. So maybe queen to one of these now, and say we get a5, we could play a3. And it's not easy to defend, is it? So I'm going to play the queen here and attack the pawn. I mean, maybe he still has some sort of trick and I'm just not seeing it, but I don't see it. You can only play what you see. I'm miles down on the clock, so I think I need to charge this pawn here. Charge this structure while I can. Could turn out to be powerful pawns. So he takes, so I'm going to take back. Attack this pawn and try and get the rook across, or the rook here. At some point I need to give my king an emergency square. Now because he got the dark square bishop, it makes more sense for g3, but then my knight is a bit weak. So he has gone there. So what about rook here now, and then threatening a move like queen up? That makes sense to me. Let's say I'm miles down on the clock, so I've got to bear that in mind as well. He's got a natural move. Oh, did I just miss? No, I didn't, did I? He's guarded laterally. I didn't miss taking there. I just wondered if there was a back rank issue, but his queen was there as well. So I'm just looking at queen up here. Or I could play rook across, but queen up allows rook up as well. That looks very pleasant to me. It doesn't mean it's winning anything. He's still got bishop to come here. But takes. He'll move his rook and he'll prepare bishop to come back to guard the pawn. So can I get my knight active? Yeah, that's what he's done. So he's going to play this. So I've got rook here. It's their bishop back. I mean, he could just immediately push, but then he's on a light square. So rook here pushes. I just go back to where I am. And if he goes here, we drop back and he can't guard his pawn. So that's a move. But say he drops back and we take and we trade. And he then pushes. Can I get back? Rook back, he pushes. Rook across. It's a bit dangerous, that. It is a bit dangerous. I don't like that. So I think I'm just going to let him kick my rook back. So I'm going to play this development move and bring my king off the background, but I'm 2 minutes down on the clock. It could be too much to try and turn around. I need to get my knight into the game somewhere. So just drop back on the light square. If down, I'll be able to take and isolate the pawn, but it doesn't mean he can't promote it. But I've now got a square for my knight to jump to and try and redeploy, hopefully. It's just, where's the best square? Here, 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 here. I'm not sure. But I want the king off the bottom rank, so there's no immediate one move back rank issues if this file just breaks open. Okay, so let's get the king up. Knight up attacks the rook. I've still got this option though to attack the pawn. I mean, I guess he can guard it here. But knight in and knight here actually could be moved, couldn't it? Hit the rook and jump across to attack the pawn. So he's headed that option off. So I'm going to just gain a bit more space before I burn too much time. Minute and a half is a lot of time to be down. But yeah, if I get the knight here, then 3 would attack the pawn and 2 would defend it. If I get rid of this pawn, I'd feel a lot happier. I'm already 1 pawn up. So I'm going to try and go there quickly. I'm not blundering a pawn here that I can see. So I'm going to try and go here and put pressure on this pawn with a 3rd one to attack it. If he steps up, I think I can take. And if we just break them so there's only 1, it's a lot easier to defend than facing 2. So that's my target for my next move. And try and win this pawn. That's what we're aiming to do. I'll get the cursor off the board there so there's no accidental mouse slips. Is he going to run his king all the way? And he might actually run his king all the way to d5 and try and really march all the way down the board. He might do that. We've got a nice arrow formation, a nice connect 4 and a connect 3. Yeah, knight c4, it's just an obvious threat. Just try and target the weak pawn. But if the weak pawn manages to get protected, it could become a very powerful pawn that wins the game. So he's played rook up, so I think I can just go here straight away and threaten to capture. And then hopefully if he doesn't trade, the knight can come back and still guard the rook. Say he's going to try and do a lift like this. He needs 3 moves to do that. So bishop up. Maybe we've even got knight forward actually. We attack the rook and see if he trades. So we've got knight forward here, haven't we? It should be good to just simply take the pawn though. And then if his bishop takes, we can take back. If the bishop doesn't take, we've got knight back to c4 and we guard our rook. So it should be good just to simply win the pawn. He's got this potential move though. We can't take here. So if I take now and he comes here, knight back, he's going to take here. So I'm actually looking at knight here then. I'm going to go forward and hit the rook. If he takes, I'll take back and then argue that I'm going to try and win the pawn this way or bring my king right across. It might be a mistake. Maybe he's now in time to guard it like this. And I have to take with a rook if he takes. Then rook back, rook behind. Yeah, he's guarding it, isn't he? He's in time, but we can blockade. He has to do this, I think. And I'll blockade the pawn and then go here. Or keep his king cut and run my king across. Oh, he hasn't gone to guard his pawn. So now I'm in time to go here and 2 attack it and only 1 defend. Oh, yeah, if he goes here, I take it with the rook. That's right. Confusing myself a minute. Thought of the pawn there. So now we just drop back. And again, if he pushes, we can now safely own this on or just take with the rook. Once this is gone, we're 2 pawns up. Still difficult to win, but we're 2 pawns up and we've got our time back on the clock now. So let's get rid of a rook. And then try and not let him run this one. Rook back and rook up would be nice. Do we go after this though? Do we go here instead and say, you're not going to cause any damage here unless he gets all the way in? We can stop his king in and we're happy to trade here. So here, I guess he can go here and guard, can't he? So do I want his king forward or back? Because I can go here and check. Here and check and drive him back. It seems solid to me, but here, what's he going to do? Rook back, check, and he starts getting active. So I'm going to go this way. And then try and bring my king across, something like this, and eventually advance my pawns. But again, I'm getting that bit down the clock. It's more like a blitz ending now. But we've got 6 pawns against 4. And threatening a check to kick his king back over somewhere or other. And there's no other pawn then to challenge our pawn. So check seems very good. And then king up. Then start marching. Start getting your pawns further up the board if you can. Actually, maybe even f4 and g4 could be really good moves. Because f4 I can always support with going here. So let's kick him back. Oh, he might be trying to march forward, so can I check? He's gone back over. Do I go here first, actually? I do, I think. I think I fix this pawn structure like this, and then just march them up in the king to support, and try and eventually march everything on and not give him that counterplay. So if he pushes now, we can just take. He's gone back, so now I'm going to try and play f4 and bring the king up. We just try and blast through even. Oh, he's gone for a trade. Well, that has to favour us. It's an isolated pawn. This has to be winning. Here, take, up, 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 and we take. So that's a move. Now, he doesn't have to take, but we can isolate a pawn this side if he doesn't. It's got to be winning this with correct play. Just leave the backward pawn there, and his king has to run an awful long way to get to it. Yeah, just pretty much here, whatever he does. Well, I mean, not literally whatever he does there, we take, but... Okay, so take, here, here, here. Yeah, I think I run the king up first, actually, instead of take, just so he doesn't have this square. Now, he could try and do this, but I'm okay to take and blockade, I think. So king here, I think I take first and then blockade him. Now, I can blockade here, can't I? And then he can't step this way at all. He has to go here. If I go here, only legal move. So I need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 moves. He needs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. He needs shed loads of moves, doesn't he? So this should be an auto win here. Yeah, it should just be an easy win now. I could even push and push, I guess, actually. Do I do that? Is that just taking a silly risk? I think it is. Does it matter what square I'm on here? Do I step forward then? Yeah, let's just run up. Yeah, we're in time to blockade the pawn. That's an easy win. You can't never push the pawn once we get behind it. So we managed to do pretty well that game. Let's see what it was in engine speak. So pause so we don't accidentally start another game. So there are 56 moves. They're the move times for both players. Let's request an analysis. But we really just won an early pawn, didn't we, with that knight move, and then managed to play very well and convert a good finish. But let's see if we did mess up and blunder anywhere. So a little bit of lots of ups and downs there, so not perfect play, but it's not bad on the whole, is it? So yeah, lots of little zigzags and ups and downs, so lots of mistakes around here. 92 versus 88 on the accuracy, so let's have a quick flick through. Lots of mistakes, but yeah, just that one blunder there, knight f6. Yeah, I think he's just not paying attention. He's just hung a pawn. We took our time, like 25 seconds there to make sure it was a pawn. And then we're just looking for common sense development moves, trying to get into the game. And that was actually a mistake. Yeah, I should have completed the minor piece development first instead of pushing the pawn. So it is an inaccuracy there. So queen to c7. He should have gone back to d7 instead of c7. Okay. And then when I did develop the knight, I should have then charged that pawn immediately instead. And then I should have brought the rook across here to guard the pawn instead of getting the queen out of the way, because he's then got his rook across. But the rook was actually inaccurate as well. A lot of inaccuracies, aren't there? He should have played b6 and changed the pawn structure. But we're already now +4 better, and we're just basically this all better for the rest of the game now. So the rest of it, we played it pretty well. So this was all good. Okay, so this was a good move as well. It's not been flagged. Taking was inaccuracy. Should have brought the king in over and allowed the pawn to fall. So maybe we couldn't take, could we? King to e6. Oh, we take the rook, of course. If I see that move there, just take the rook. That is the best move, not going for the pawn. So king in, and the best bet is to concede this and then just argue that you're then going to protect your pawns forever. So this could be difficult to convert. This is the engine line. So we need to bring our king across. Bring our king all the way across, but the bishop is now guarding, so not quite so easy to convert, is it? Double up on the pawn and blockade it. We might have to give an exchange back, though. I guess we can always push forward. That's what we should have done. And then there. Oh, I should have taken with a pawn and hanging my rook, because we attack another rook. We'd attack both rooks. So again, I didn't take the time to work that one out, did I? What did I do here? Because I'd spent a lot of time on the move before, and I just took back instantly. Spent a lot of time on the move before, but take there, we attack the two rooks at the same time. If you take here, we take back and you can't stop us queening. And if you move your rook, we just win a free rook. So that's a bit careless. So 7.5 to 4.3. So that might have just won the game on the spot. We made a little bit more hard work at the ending, but in the end we have actually calculated this and played it pretty well. Some good technique at the end here. You calculated it correctly. Then as soon as we come back here, we can blockade the pawn, so you can never break through the queen, and we just bring our king back. So at my level, that's a pretty good game, so very good.